You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keetin.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Capture After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Capture After Show.
Now I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no broke.
Bing is for doing, and today we are doing Capture Episode 6, Reversal of Fortune. My name is Keetin Marchi. I'm your host today, and I have my lovely co-host today here with me as well.
Hi, I'm Donald Romain. I'll be co-hosting, and here we have from the Lime team,
James Wallington.
He's still here, guys. We didn't kick him off yet.
He gets to stay on our show.
So this was a crazy episode. I mean, it was like no other Capture episode yet, and it kind of blew my mind. It kind of made me a little angry, a little perturbed. So you guys, what are your thoughts?
I agree. It was the most intense episode we've had yet. It made me super angry. I finished watching it, and there were just feelings bubbling inside because I was upset. I was disappointed. I was excited. There was just a lot of things that happened in this episode. I think mostly I feel like I was disappointed because some of the teams I thought were treated unfairly or didn't even have a chance. And I'm starting to develop different feelings towards the way the show is, the direction it's heading. So I know we're going to get more into it later, but my overall feeling was I kind of walked away a little disappointed, but that doesn't change the fact that this was the most exciting episode of the season so far because of the twists and turns. So
It's a weird thing for me because this happened the day after I got voted out. So I feel like Rebecca and I dodged a bullet with this round in particular because the alarms going off would have been stressful, and then the mystery box, I probably would have been emotional over that because I love the Golden Boys. They're really wonderful people, and I enjoyed playing the game with them. So if I had to see them get screwed like that, I would have been upset. Or maybe Rebecca and I would have gotten the mystery box, and they never would have had to worry about it. But joining us to talk about tonight's episode is actually Nick Wallace from the Gold Team.
Hi, Nick.
Hey, guys.
welcome, Nick.
How's it going?
How you doing, Nick?
Oh, I'm doing well. Yourself?
Oh, I'm doing very well. Have you recovered a little bit from watching yourself get eliminated on this episode?
Well, I actually watched it for the first time today. But yeah, I feel like that's a wound from the past now. We're okay about talking about it.
What are your overall thoughts on kind of how the episode got broken down?
As far as how we saw it on play out?
Yeah.
I think it was a pretty fair depiction of how things went. Started out, we did pretty well on our hunt. We got there to that mystery box so quickly, and did what we set out to do. And then, we kind of got overturned by the teal team, and the red team was the hunt team came and got us. I mean, simple as that.
Right. So I feel bad for you guys because I feel like in this particular episode, I was super excited when I saw that you guys were the hunt team because you guys are a strong team, and in my eyes, I thought you guys had a really fair shot at winning this game. How disappointed were you we'll get to the mystery box earlier, so why don't we just start at the beginning of the hunt day. You got all the teams are lined up, and the gold team, the gold talent comes up. How excited were you guys?
We were fairly excited. We were kind of planning on hunting that day. Like we had a feeling like in our gut that we were going to be the hunt team, and we were definitely ready to do it. We'd seen all of the people beforehand hunt, and we felt like we were ready to do it. We wanted to go and not have to worry about traipsing through the forest, all quiet and secret-like. We wanted to be the kings of the forest. We wanted to be the lions going out and hunting the gazelle. So we were pretty stoked.
The Golden Lions.
Well, that would have been a great name. So you guys, obviously Red was at the top of your target board. What other teams were on your radar?
We were honestly not looking to not take anybody. So anybody we found, we would have taken. Be it, black, green, white, blue. Well, blue wasn't there, but red. Anybody that was there, we would have gone for them regardless. The fact that red was right at the mystery box where we saw them was just icing on the cake. And the next day, we had planned on just going for anybody we could. It mattered not one bit, who our friends were at that point, because we were the hunt team, and if we didn't catch 2 people, we were going up for elimination.
That's what I think is so interesting about being the hunt team is that you can have all these alliances and friendships in the game, but the moment you're a hunt team, like, all gloves come off because it's either your butt on the line or somebody else's, your friend. And at the end of the day, you're going to look out for yourself and your partner because there's $250,000 on the line. And
that's so interesting you said, because, it seems right now that you guys were pretty closely aligned with the green and the white team as well as the lime team before they left. And so it was interesting to hear you say that you would have gone for the green team because the way it was edited and the way I saw it, like, everybody was like, get that red team. So that's nice of you to clear that up a little bit, that it was, it was kind of an equal playing field for everybody that day with you guys as a hunt team, because you guys were like, you know what, if you're in our path, we're going to get you.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely.
What was the motive for wanting the red team? Because I feel like green was obviously the strongest team other than yourself. So why gun for red so intensely?
It was, I don't know exactly. My brother kind of tipped it off during the show. He said that for whatever reason it seemed like the red and the teal team, and then just by association, kind of the black team, were kind of their own alliance or sub-village in the village, and then there were the 3 or 4 of us on the other side. And so it was like, well, let's take out the strong one on their side. That way, we have the votes on this side, even though, honestly, later on it wouldn't matter because the strong team would go home regardless. I don't know. There was a big target on Red's back for whatever reason. I think partly it had to do with the fact that we genuinely liked Kareem and Antoine so much more, and Kalisha and Matt so much more, just because we spent more time with them.
So with the village, it sounds like the village was definitely divided. I mean, who was the biggest threat on your side of the village? Obviously, red is the biggest threat with teal and black. Were you guys the biggest threat, or was green the biggest threat?
I never really saw them run except last night's episode, or Tuesday's episode. And that was just, camera editing. I don't know how fast they are, honestly. I'm pretty sure it was Antoine. It was, he's kind of a track guy. So I know he's quick, but does that mean he's got endurance? It's hard to say. So I think I would say that green was probably a bit stronger than us, but when it came down to it, what would happen, I don't know.
I would have to say that their alliance definitely caught a break with red not going home, because the green, white, and gold side is strong all across the board. Mm-hmm. And then you've got teal, who still at this point I haven't seen do anything incredible. They did get the mystery box, so I don't want to take away from that, but that's also luck.
Yeah, it's all luck.
It's, oh wait, I'm right next to it. So I still haven't seen teal do anything. Red, I do think they're obviously competitors, and they definitely pose a threat to the other teams. I think one of their team members is stronger than the other. Pink goes back and forth, and then you have black, who, just like the teal team, I haven't seen. Well, I've only seen black drink.
Black's just there to party. Yeah, exactly. Let's be honest. They're just like, what alcohol beverage am I going to get at the supply station today?
So I mean, and I have to say, I guess I can say that I think that they caught a break, but maybe Red's doing it smart by aligning themselves with the weakest teams there, because if they're going to keep knocking off the stronger teams on the other alliance, Red is going to have it in the bag soon.
Oh, absolutely.
If green and white go home, then I think Pink has a chance. But at this point, I think maybe Red's doing it because it's smart, but I think your alliance is stronger.
I do have to say, I mean, from watching the show, I feel like after the blue team got eliminated, I feel like the new bullies in the camp have become the red team, or at least that's how I'm like seeing it play out. And I feel like after Lime Team got eliminated, the new strategic team that's just like gunning 100% is the teal team. It's kind of funny how those roles have been like
they've been passed on. Yes, I feel like red was always just underlining as the bullies though, because without the attention on, yes, they're very aggressive. They have a lot to say, and I don't know. I feel like it's more so Rob spurring on Jacob, but they just the things they say are very aggressive. And so I do think that I agree with you. It's very interesting that now new teams are taking on those roles. And so now that we have the new teams taking on the roles and we got the gold team being the hunt team, Luke announced that as soon as the hunt team was released, all the vests were going to go off and all the vests were going to sound an alarm. But my first question is for Nick, when you guys were released and all the vests were alarmed, did that help you or did that hurt you?
We didn't hear one alarm the entire day.
Wow. Oh, because they got to the mystery box before you guys got a chance to really get close to any team. Is that what happened?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. From the visual that I remember, the pink team went towards the north, and we were going nowhere near that because the box was kind of in the southwest. And the red and the teal team were right around the box at that time, so we were going straight for it. And by the time we got, close enough to be able to hear an alarm, it was already found.
Okay, that's unfortunate because I really did want there to be more with that. But then I guess if we're going to start with the mystery box, let's talk about the mystery box. So Luke announced that there was going to be a mystery box, and whatever team got to it was going to get an incredible advantage that they'd find out later that night at the camp.
Do you know what? Just the first advantage that I think was handed out during this episode was those alarms. And it's interesting now hearing that you said you never heard them. But I was talking, like James and I watched the episode together, and I was just like, that's like I love the gold team. I love you guys to death. But I was like, that's not fair. None of the other hunt teams got that. Like, why should they get that? Like, I understand the producers can change it and things can change anytime. And I think it's different watching a reality television show that we've never seen played out before, so we don't know the rules. There aren't those staple rules like Survivor and Big Brother have that you're expecting. And so it kind of irked me a little bit because I was like, that's not fair. It didn't seem fair to me. And then the frickin' mystery box gets gotten, and everything just went haywire, and I got even more pissed off.
I have to say, this is what I was talking about earlier when I started. I have to agree with you. I don't feel like I can trust the show at this point because I do agree that there's staples, there's rules, and things can change at any point. But usually when things change, it's because somebody earned something, or there was a challenge, or I got an advantage, or there's a reason why this is happening. At this point, as a viewer, you're telling me all of a sudden there's alarms, and then there's a mystery box, and then when we talk about what happened with the mystery box, that happens. I don't feel like that's fair. Why? Where was the challenge? Why does gold get the advantage of the vest? Why? It's just, I feel like if we're going to change the rules that way, there should be a reason why you get that advantage or get that reward. Or else at that point, it makes me feel like they announced that the mystery box the reward wouldn't be told till later that night after the first hunt, which as a viewer just makes me think, okay, well, they're waiting to see what happens so that they can play it towards a more interesting effect, which did happen. I'm not saying that they geared the reward towards what happened the first hunt day, but it made it seem that way. I don't trust it.
I wasn't there to really gauge what was going on, but I feel like they put so much emphasis on it being the halfway point, and since there are fewer teams in this huge hunting grounds arena of sorts, that it's now time to make things harder for prey, because there were a lot of options of places to go and walk around, that now with the alarms, they're really going to have to work harder for the money. And I think that's what Luke was trying to convey is, all right, you can be prey and you think you're going to be stealthy, but now you're going to have to work 10 times harder. It's the halfway point. And with the fact that Nick also just mentioned that they didn't hear any of the alarms really go off, I think it had to do with where you were, because when Rebecca and I got the advantage in episode 4, we saw that blue was near green, which is why we sabotaged blue, and of course green heard the alarms. So I bet you can only hear the alarms within a certain radius. So I guess there's, I get what you're saying, but I think it also shows that it's going to be harder for everybody. It's not going to be easier.
But then the alarm shut off within like 10, 15 minutes of the hunt. Am I wrong? Because when they put up that clock,
timestamp, yeah.
The timestamp, like you guys caught red team within the first 15, 20 minutes of the hunt. Is that true, or?
From when they left, yes. When we started our hunt, I'm pretty sure the approximate time of when we left to when we were done was about 6 to 8 minutes. So my understanding is that when we were sent off, the hunt team was released, was the exact time when they were allowed to see on their GPS where the mystery box was. So if they were anywhere near it, then they could get there much sooner than we could get there.
That's not much of an advantage at all. Because if you're near the mystery box and the hunt team is sent off the podium, you get the people have already gotten a head start, and then the hunt team goes on and the vests go off at that point, and then you're right next to the mystery box, you can turn it off almost immediately.
Yeah.
So it's not much of an advantage.
The thing though is that you're assuming that somebody is kind of going to be by there, and that was just random. I mean, the teal and the red team might not have been there. They could have been anywhere. We could have been the first team there because everybody went south and or north. So it is. I mean, there is kind of a random. It just ended up not being an advantage for us. It could have been. It just wasn't. So, there are kind of two sides to it, but it just turned out that it was kind of the bad end of the stick for us.
Yeah, it was unfortunate that you guys didn't get to take full advantage of those vests, but
they did get the red team.
Yes, they did, which was the highlight of my night, was them capturing the red team. But let's talk. The teal team got to the box first. I was surprised that the teal team got it, but I was kind of excited because they aren't as a strong team as red is. So when red got their second, I appreciated the fact that a weaker team got it.
I don't think you can underestimate, like, when it comes to finding things in this arena. I mean, look at James and Rebecca.
Yes,
they got
things, you're right.
2 things, and everybody was saying they were the weakest team. And even James himself was like, yes, we were the weakest team, like, physically.
Yes.
But mentally, they are very smart. I think teal team is very similar to that, as they might not be the fastest people. They might have the most stamina. I think they're definitely, like, they're a good team, but I think their biggest advantage is they're very smart.
I think they started to emerge as smarter players as the game went on, though. I don't think it was from the head start, because I think that's why in episode 4 I said I don't, they're not much of a competition in my eyes. When I said that, it was because I didn't think they were that smart. I think they were really just, we're going to go in the hunting grounds and we're just going to run around and make sure we're not caught, which is, I guess, smart. But I don't feel like there was much of a mental strategy going on with them. But I think as the game goes on, everyone's starting to learn what strategies work and what doesn't. And I think that's probably why Teal decided to step it up and take advantage of the mystery box.
And I think
it's hit or miss.
Yeah, and you're such a reality television fan. You went in there being like, oh my, like strategy from the get-go.
From the ankle to
from the beginning. Well, it's a great point to mention that Teal is now starting to play it more mentally, because you're right, they are a stronger team mentally. Because they've never gone for any of the advantage points or anything before. Every time they've shown them going, oh, we're not going to make it. Oh, we shouldn't risk it. Oh, they've never ever gone for it before.
Just the looking glass.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, so the Teal team gets it, and Red comes along. And Gold, did you ever even see Teal?
No, we had no idea that they were anywhere near until we caught Rob and Jake, and we were basically just talking to them, and we found out that it was the teal team because they had seen the teal team.
Okay, so then I guess the red team must have hung around for a while then, around the mystery box, because if the teal team had time to get away, why didn't the red team have time to get away? Why were they just moseying? That's what made me upset.
Well,
they
bickered a lot.
said that they were arguing quite a bit on which direction to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of showed that. They showed that.
Which way was south.
Yeah. So then you bring the red team back to jail. Did you guys go back into the hunt, or was that the end of the hunt that day?
It was ended immediately.
Okay.
So everyone came in. Everybody was pretty happy when they came over to see red team in the jail. How was the the feeling of the village that night? Before all of the
we were kind of away from it when we were the hunt team. Obviously the teal team, and I don't think the black team was too sad, but the teal team was obviously upset that the red team had been caught. And everybody else, I'm sure I didn't hear, but I'm sure they were all pretty excited. The red team is a strong team, period. So having them up for elimination, is a good thing.
I would be curious to see. I mean, if any of the other teams want to comment or tweeter. I know you guys can't call in right now, but I'd be very curious to see what everybody was thinking this mystery box was going to be, because I felt like what you guys found out was a mystery box, that came out of left field, because I was just like, what the heck? Like, that just...
I thought it was going to be like immunity, or you get the second day hunt free.
Yeah,
like,
and then you can relax.
You get to relax and enjoy your day off.
At this point, everybody is so fatigued. I feel like it has become so much more of a mental game than a physical game.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys saw that with the two of the strongest team, the gold team and the red team, when they're in pursuit. Both of you guys are just exhausted. And what did you think it could have been in the mystery box?
All of the things that had been coming up had been, kind of crazy, 20-pound weight belts and the alarms going off for the entire thing. And then that virus, it's been progressively getting worse and worse each time. I honestly, I thought you would be showing up, like, on a GPS. Like, if you got the thing, you would be able to pick somebody, and they would be on the hunter's GPS the entire time.
That would have been cool.
You could almost set somebody up to go home, or like an automatic elimination. Like, I pick you, you're going to elimination, something crazy like that.
That would have been
Did you ever think?
really
Did you ever think that your status as a hunter for that round was in jeopardy?
Not at all. But looking back at the episode, it was kind of funny because Luke kind of foreshadowed it. He said nobody is safe, and he didn't say specifically the hunt team, but nobody is safe from the mystery box.
Hey, Nick, one of my Twitter followers, Jordan Woodson, tweeted, if you had continued being the hunt team, who would you have brought up to dinner at the Hunter's Den?
Oh, that's a hard one. Automatically, I think I'd say Green. But at that point, we were already friends with them. We couldn't share food with them. There was nothing we could do for them. So I think we might have tried to pick somebody else and just, like, gauge what people are thinking, or try and talk to somebody else about what had been going on,
That's smart.
I mean, one of the saddest things to me was that you guys didn't even get your meal. Like, that sucked. I was like, are you kidding me? Not only are they going to slap you in the face by making you not the hunt team anymore, and it's bad enough that you can't sleep in those cozy, or they look cozy, I don't know how comfortable they were, beds, but then you guys don't get the food, and you had spent a whole day as the hunt team. I mean, maybe not a whole day, because you guys only spent like 10 minutes, but or 20. I'll give you 20. I'll give you 20 minutes. But like, how, like, that whole scenario, how long until you guys found out what the mystery box was, and then to the point where you found out you were no longer the hunt team? Like, that Teal had made the decision to take you off the hunt team.
Well, we didn't have, watches or anything like that to know time, but it was probably 2.5 hours or so, maybe 3 hours. We had some time to just kind of sit there and marinate and be happy and, build up that appetite for that fork and knife, and it just never came. And then that was the worst sound in the world.
This is when they announced the mystery box, that the Till team had the power to, well, first of all, that the Till team got the Hunter's Den, and then they had the power to pick the next hunt team. I just thought it was so harsh. I thought it was really unfortunate.
It seemed like a waste of a hunt.
It did.
There was no point.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, yeah. Well, the twist and everything, it just seemed unfortunate to me. But also, at the same time, I thought it was going to be advantage for the gold team. Because I thought, who is going to vote out these two guys when they just got the hardest shaft I've ever seen?
That's what I thought too!
I just thought, and they look so upset and so sad, and then to have
best interview of the entire series so far, by the way. You guys' face and just
the reactions, the
best
expression,
interview.
And then the way the Till team just, to me, the way it came off just didn't really have much decency or consideration with the fact that, despite the fact that they got to have the Hunter's Den and they got the meal, it was taken away from someone else. And that didn't seem to be respected, because And I would celebrate too if I got to eat and have time to sleep. But also at the same time, I would feel bad and realize that for me to win, somebody else is losing.
Exactly. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, it is a game. It's a game.
Yes.
I think that's like
the
biggest thing. Everybody, like, even though, I mean, I'm sure watching these episodes, a lot of old emotions are coming up, but in the end, this is a game. It's just a fun game that people are playing for, like, I don't know how long the filming is on.
Even so, like, when you're not eating and you're not sleeping,
you're hangry,
you're not drinking water, you kind of go a little crazy.
I would too,
and you don't think.
Well, the Teal team got to go to the Hunter's Den. Did they get to invite anybody up to share their meal with them?
Not that I know of. You weren't allowed to share food with anybody that you brought up to the elimination or the Hunter's Den. So I don't even know if they were allowed to invite. Oh no, yeah, I don't think they were allowed to invite anybody up to the Hunter's Den.
Didn't someone share a beer with another team earlier when they were in the Hunter's Den?
Yeah, that was my brother and I with the green team, but we gave them the beer.
Oh, okay. Because
the beer wasn't provided to them as the Hunter's meal, and they gave it to us. We gave it to them.
Okay, that makes sense. Sorry, I just had to clear. I had to understand that. Okay, so the Teal team is now in the Hunter's Den. The Gold team is back at camp. Red is in the jail cell. Was it pretty clear that once you guys got back in the village that Teal was going to pick the Red team to be the Hunt team the next day, or what was everybody thinking?
You know, in the back of my mind, I had no doubt, and I'm pretty sure my brother believed the same thing. We didn't think after Teal had hunted that they wanted to hunt again. We didn't think that they would put any of, you know, quote unquote our alliance up, you know, because they wouldn't be safe necessarily. So yeah, they're going to put somebody that's, you know, they're already friends with, that they're free from, to go and find one of us because they think that they're not going to be able to catch one of us later on anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's great strategy. If I was the Teal team, I would have done the same exact thing. It's the smartest move they could have made. So I mean, it just sucks because it just seems so you guys just got the rug pulled out from under you, and it breaks my heart when something like that happens because again, it's a new show. Like there's gonna new things are coming in and out, so we don't really know as viewers what's gonna happen next, but. It just that just seems rough. I'm so
as
sorry.
As viewers, as competitors, we didn't know what was going to happen next.
Oh,
that'd have been cool if it was to bring the last team eliminated back.
I don't think Teal would have brought you back. Sorry.
I don't think they would either. But
so Teal team goes. They announce the Red team is going to be the Hunt team, and then they release you guys. And it seemed like it took a pretty long time. The hunt lasted almost the entire 4 hours, but they had the supply station where everyone could make a free call. Right?
Yeah, Kareem tugged at my heartstrings with that phone call.
Oh my gosh, green team. Make me cry.
I appreciated the fact that the green team could outrun the red team. Because the green team, the black team made it to the supply station, and the teal team. So you enjoyed margaritas and nachos, and then the green team outran the red team, which I was excited to see. Because I thought if the green team was going to get captured, that red would go home. Well, green would go home.
And I thought it was so smart that the green team, I said this to James when we were watching the show, like, oh my God, it's so smart they're leaving before the boundaries go down because it was unexpected. And so red team had to be like, oh crap.
And they had to run around the perimeter because they couldn't run straight through.
Exactly.
Which is, I
so
think green
smart.
utilized the safety zone to their advantage, you know?
Yeah, when they were counting down, they were like, we're going to go on 3, 2, before the supply station closed. I didn't think I would have thought of that. If I was them, maybe if I was there, I would have thought of that. But when they did it, it surprised me. And I thought it was a great move. Super smart.
And he had just talked to his mama, so he was
yes,
like,
he did. He was fired up.
You, red team, we are running.
A little tequila, talk with your mom. He was ready to go.
I don't think I could run that fast after tequila.
Actually,
I don't know how any of them did it.
I was thinking more tequila, the faster I would run.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I feel like Superman.
Absolutely not. On my butt, like.
Totally gone. Totally down.
Forgetting all of that, my favorite part was, you see what I got here? The nachos. Not yours, not yours.
Were you, Nick, when you watched the episode, were you surprised at how many teams got a free pass in the supply station when Red got there?
Not at all. No. I honestly, I had thought that the red team and the black team had already talked, and and they knew that they weren't going to get caught that day anyway. But when I saw it, the black team was just hoping that they wouldn't get caught, which didn't surprise me at all anyway. I didn't think that the black team or the teal team would have any trouble. And honestly, in the back of my mind, I thought the pink team wouldn't either, just because, the exact strategy that Rob used. If they go up again in the elimination against any of those teams, they would be going home. They had to get, one of us three, the white, the green, or the gold, to have any chance of staying in the game.
Oh, I agree. I feel like the reason why I wasn't surprised that red gave a free pass to black and teal when they were in the supply station is there was no point. They were going to go home. If they captured teal or they captured black, they were going to go home.
I honestly thought, I was like, red, just put yourselves out of your own misery. Like, you're going to go home regardless. That's honestly what I thought, and then I was so angry.
So then, I was angry too. I was excited because I thought red's going to go home, and then I was angry when I saw red come up on gold, and then they started the red gold chase. And then I felt so bad for you guys, Nick, when you guys were getting to the higher elevation and you guys were, 5-10 feet away from each other, literally hunched back, slowly walking away from each other. Like, I felt so bad. I laughed really hard, but I felt so bad. Was it that bad?
It was that bad. That chase honestly lasted at least 5 minutes. I know it didn't get a lot of camera time, but we were pretty almost to the border of where we were allowed to be, as far north as we could, and we went south, basically outside of the boundary for where we were allowed to be. So we had to cut back, east, and we kept running, and it was just ridiculous. We were on that road for a while. We cut up and started going up that monstrous hill, and seriously, it was a good 5 minutes of running at 5,500 or so feet. The oxygen sent up there, we're already tired because we don't have any nutrition in our bodies, so it was that tough.
And what are you guys' kind of like background? Like, before this game, like, are you guys, obviously you guys are both athletic, but like, did you like train for this?
That's a good question.
This show?
Yeah.
Like, what did you do to prepare for the show, or did you what's your kind of like normal routine?
In high school, I was kind of an endurance athlete, but last summer I did an Ironman, which is a 2.4 mile swim, 112 mile bike ride, and then a 26.2 mile run.
You and Shane, man.
Wow.
So that was, I was still doing stuff like that. A couple of months beforehand, I'd run a marathon. So those type of things are what I had done. And my brother was more of a power athlete, so he did more sprinting type stuff, football and baseball and stuff like that. So he had been training a little bit more to try and run a little bit longer, getting up to like 4 or 5 miles at a time. But he got pretty gassed up there.
Was there any point when the red was in pursuit of you guys that you felt that you were going to get away, or did it feel like you were going to get caught?
I never really looked back too much. When we were on the road, I did look back quite a bit, and it was like they weren't gaining on us, but we weren't getting away either. We were pretty much matching the speed. So at that point, it was like, well, I just hope that the time runs out, because we can't get away. I can only go as fast as my teammate. This is a partnership. And they weren't catching us, so let's just hope this thing runs out. Let's go up this hill and have one of them, get super tired, and it didn't work out. Once we started walking, I kind of had an idea that was going to be the end of it.
Did you guys know it was close to the end of the hunt?
We had an idea, but no, we don't really get any indication of when the hunt ends. For all we know, the hunt is going to go on for another 3 hours.
Yeah.
After that, so we never got to know, and we actually never know how long the hunts are. So.
Wow.
It's hard.
I mean, because watching, like, seeing that clock, like, tick down, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, Red, they're just gonna be going in this very slow motion, like, race, and they're not gonna catch him. And I was like, that's gonna be so dramatic, but they caught you, and it made me sad.
It made me really sad when the gold team was caught by the red but at the same time, I still thought red is going home because how can things get any worse for the gold team this episode? I didn't think that it was possible that
Do you know how it can get worse?
They can go home.
The pink team can make a stupid decision.
and I have to say, Arlen and Kristen, you guys were my favorite. I was really rooting for you guys, and then you did me wrong, and it was you did gold wrong, and it made me really sad.
You did wrong.
No, I actually, honestly, I don't understand that one. I'd still like to have a little clarification from either of them because, I mean, they kept talking about how the strong team should go home, the strong team should go home, and my brother passed out. He literally passed out, and they tagged him. So, I mean, how are we the stronger team? I don't quite understand that one.
Was he okay? Like, when all that happened, like, were you guys okay, or how long did you have to kind of chill out before you could get up and move again?
Yeah, we took a good amount of time, just kind of recovering. You know, when you pass out, you kind of a little bit dazed and don't quite know what's going on at the time. I think he actually asked me what had happened. Like, did we get caught?
Aww. It's so endearing, and this is why the gold team should have won.
This is why we love the gold.
This is why we're all about the gold team.
If you guys, like, what were you guys playing for? Like, were you guys playing just kind of for the competition of it? Are you fans of reality TV, or was, you know, obviously the money is always a nice thing, but was there any certain thing that put the fire under your butt?
Well, my brother is a huge competitor, so once I told him about the show, he was like, "Yes, we have to do it. We're gonna win. We're gonna show everybody how cool we are." But on top of that, he wants to relocate and like start a life somewhere. Mm-hmm. He had a little bit of a slower start in school and everything like that, so he's kind of getting his life together, I should say. And I wanted to continue on into school. I wanted to pay off some of my student loans and keep going and possibly get a doctorate. Right now I'm finishing up my second year in my master's program.
Oh, wow.
Wait, you're going to be a doctor?
I wanted, well, not a medical doctor.
Doctor! Well, congrats on that. That's really amazing. I wish you guys would have had the opportunity to use the money for that. I would have rooted for you. I would have voted for you guys if we got the chance. So so when you guys got back to the cage, I guess, or the jail, did Red have to go in with you guys, or did they just left you guys in there?
Well, it was just us. The red team. Pretty soon after we got in the jail. I mean, we just had to sit there, but the red team got to go up to the Hunter's Den, I think. Yeah, they didn't join us. They went up to the Hunter's Den, and then, you know, it was nice that we got caught on the second day. That way we didn't have to spend the night in the jail.
Well, the Teal should have got to go to the Hunter's Den, and Red should have been in the jail
with you guys.
Teal won
that
the
was
Mr.
messed
Box.
up.
Yeah, that is
way
to drive it in even further.
Did Red get food that night too? Like good food?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay, because
we were gone before.
I'm just gonna imagine they did, because they got food, and I'm upset about it.
I'm very upset about it. Like,
so you're going into elimination. Oh, by the way, I loved when it was Noelle walked past Chris, and Chris was just like, "Keep walking." And she was like,
I think I would have done the same thing, though, because you see Teal and Black celebrating with Red up at the Hunter's Den, and it's just like, we're rubbing it in, and then you're gonna go down to the jail and say hi to the people in the jail. Like, I don't know. Like, I didn't really like that.
Okay?
Yeah. Are you okay? No, I wasn't. I wasn't.
We knew where they were anyway, so you know, there's no reason. Just keep on trucking.
At this point, even if Pink voted for gold, it would have been. Oh no, it wouldn't have been even. But did you guys think that you had a chance? Did you think you guys were staying?
I felt like out of the teams that were left, the green team and to me the pink team, I was like pretty close to Kristen and Arlen. I liked them a lot, and we connected on many different levels, and So I thought that might play a little bit into it. But on top of that, like I said, I don't see how they can believe that the gold team was a stronger team when all of that had happened, you know? So I kind of did think that we might stay, but for whatever reason, I felt like we were going home.
Do you think Pink had a secret alliance with any three, the black, teal, or red team?
I think so. They voted.
They're so nice, and in the back of my mind, I have to say yes.
Yeah.
I don't want to believe it, but I think they did, on some level, have some sort of agreement or alignment with the red, teal, pink.
Well, they all voted as a block against Lime the first round. You know, like in episode 5 when Lime went home, they voted against us, and we were shocked by their vote too. But they did tell us why, which I can respect their reason. But yeah, they voted with them last time against Lime. They voted with them this time against Gold. So I think there's kind of a little secret deal that we don't know about yet.
You guys are breaking my heart because number one, Arlen and Kristen are so genuine and they seem so upset.
Liars!
But I have to say, it definitely is fishy that those teams voted as a block last episode and voted as a block this week as well. Arlen and Kristen, obviously we don't have much time left this week, but next week, regardless of the situation, if you guys are watching, I would love you guys to call in.
You guys got some explaining to do.
We need you guys to call in. We're going to get James to ask you guys too, because we have a lot of things to ask you, because I want to know about this voting block now that Chris and James have brought it to our attention, because now I do think that maybe you guys are in a secret alliance. Doesn't mean I love you guys any less if you guys are watching. But it does mean that I'm very curious.
I love you a little bit less, to be honest.
She loves you a little bit. I'm curious, though, as to what you're doing, because you guys are breaking my heart 2 weeks in a row, and I don't like it. So, gold team gets voted off. Red team stays. I'm obviously very upset. You're upset.
How do you feel, James?
Oh, I was so bummed. Rebecca and I, we just adore Nick and Chris. They're one of the teams that we did get a chance to get to know. Our bunks are right next to them in the village. I was bummed because if Rebecca and I didn't win, we wanted gold, green, or white to win. So gold's out of the running now, so we're just gonna have to keep rooting for white and green. But we really like Nick and Chris a lot. They're really good guys.
So do you have any final words or final thoughts about your experience and just kind of anything you want to say that you weren't able to say on the show?
Yeah, someone actually tweeted. I don't know how to say their Twitter name. It's one of the House of Anubis fans, but they wanted to know, Nick, what was your first thought when you finally were on the outside world again?
Immediately, food in my belly. I ate so much that night, you guys would not believe it. That was the first thing. Like in the car back to the cabin that we were staying at, I had 2 bags of chips. Like not just like the little dollar ones. Like we're talking $3 like Ruffles. And then when I got back there, I had popcorn and I had sandwiches and I had ridiculous amounts of just terrible food. It was heaven.
That's amazing. I think I would eat myself sick after Capture too. Thank you so much, Nick, for calling in.
Yes.
We really appreciate it.
Wait, I have one more question.
Oh no, go for it.
I think a lot of people want to know, who are our viewers out there, are you guys single?
My brother is actually newly off the market.
Oh.
Sad face.
He's been snatched up. Somebody saw him.
Lucky girl.
We're like, hey, I need to get on that real quick, before he gets such a big head, But no, I am single.
Awesome. Well, you can come visit us in LA.
And where can those single girls find you on Twitter, Nick?
Well, it's pretty simple. It's Nick 3_ Wallace.
3_. All right, single ladies out there, you can find Nick at Nick 3_ Wallace.
And let's just jump right into predictions. I know we got to wrap it up here, Nick, but I want to hear your predictions, definitely. Any predictions
Now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
What are your predictions for next week and the rest of the episode?
Sorry, I heard something back there. I would expect just more wild and crazy stuff going on. I have no idea. Once I was off the show, I was off living in a river rafting, so I have no contact with any of these people.
So hot.
Just saying all the right things. right.
James, do you have any thoughts?
Well, I'm excited. I don't know if you saw the preview, Nick, but it looks like the teams that are remaining in the competition have to live in the wild this next episode.
Oh, I did see that.
So I'm pretty excited to see how some of these teams fare actually in the wilderness, where they're going to set up camp, essentially. And I think it's probably the first preview that they've aired that hasn't really revealed who the hunt team is.
Yes.
At least we haven't
Right.
seen that yet. So I'm excited to see who the hunt team is. I feel like there's not a lot of teams left except for pink, black, white. Yeah, so it's going to be one
That's a good point, because it shows them living out in the wilderness, and the pink team is, I mean, that's their game.
they're
They are
excited.
the survival experts. You know, they're out there doing their thing. Nick Wallace.
Yeah, absolutely. So what about any predictions?
I am excited to see the pink team in the wilderness because they are beasts in the best way possible. Like, they are amazing when it comes to wilderness. I'm almost want to predict that pink team is going to be the hunt team. And if pink team is the hunt team, I would like to see them capture green and white and it be a little dramatic.
No.
And show me that.
Who
No.
People.
Wait, let me explain.
Get out of here.
Let me explain. This is the reason I want them to prove the fact that we're saying that they're voting in a block is correct. Because I do see that pattern. With that being said, I definitely am starting to think that the white team might take the show because they've never been caught. They've never been captured. I want them to be the hunt team. They seem to be really strong. I still don't understand why they were the only team not introduced in the first episode of the season. I just don't understand what's going on with the white team. At this point, I want to say that I think that the white team might take the whole season. I don't know who's going to be the capture team next week.
You
They
just
didn't give a lot
love
of
Kalisha.
You know what? It's just Kalisha and Matt's relationship, and Kalisha, I have a very special place in my heart for Kalisha.
Yeah,
So that's what I think. What do you say? What do
Okay,
you think?
well, I think...
Okay, actually, that is one thing that I'd like to mention. People say that they argue a lot, and that's definitely true. But you can tell that they love each other so
Amen.
much
That
that
is
it's
so true.
ridiculous. And
Yes.
that's something that people need to realize. Like, they can fight, but they're going to get over it. It's not exactly like a sibling relationship, but they are together 100%.
Well, it's the field that they're in too. They're a professional boxer and an MMA fighter. Like, they bring, I think, their interests into their relationship, which causes them to fight. But they really worked well together. They're
professional fighters.
and they
That's
have
what
yet
they're
to be
good at.
they have yet to be captured.
It's
They're
just-
doing something right.
It's a lot of fiery love going on, and I love it. I think it's great.
Passionate.
So we're going to
All
have to wrap up.
Yeah, we're going to wrap up here, but I just want to say I think Green is going to take the whole thing. I'm rooting for those guys. I
Gang
love
Green.
them. Gang
Yeah.
Green. I do love the white team. I think either them or pink will be the hunt team next
Yes.
week. And I just can't wait to see what more strategy that people have to play into it rather than physical stuff.
when
I just
people
want to
get
see strategy.
weaker.
Yeah, as people are getting weaker and weaker and weaker. Well, you can find me on Twitter at KeetinM33 as well as on Instagram at KeetinM.
You can find me at Donald Romain on Instagram and on Twitter as Tigris Hobbs.
and on Twitter at James Wallington and on Instagram at MrJamesWally.
And before you go, make sure you check out AfterBuzz's original series, Serial Buddies, on iTunes.
Yeah.
Woo! And rate us and comment and ask questions.
Oh yeah, leave comments on our video because I love to read what people's suggestions
We'll
are.
write you
Tweet
back.
us. I
Yes.
love to hear everyone's perspective on
We'll
the
give you
show.
guys a shout out. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Nick.
Yep, keep coming, Chive on.
Come visit.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Bye.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.